Okay, I'm here in 8.1 day 5 assignment where we'll work on writing an equation of a line from a graph. We'll work on checking if a point is a solution to a system. We'll work on rewriting an equation in slope-intercept form, and we will solve a system of equations by graphing. So here, first, let's remind ourselves of slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form looks like this. Y equals mx plus b, where b is the y-intercept. That means it's where the line crosses the y-axis. And m represents the slope. The slope is equal to what we could say rise over run, or the vertical change over the horizontal change. And so we'll come back to this in a minute, but m, slope, is equal to rise over run. And that's what we'll use if we are given a line on a graph. Okay, we'll come back to this information here in a minute as well. So look at number 1. We want to do 3 things here. Part A, identify the slope and the y-intercept of the line. Part B, write the equation of the line. And then part C, tell what kind of slope the line has. So here's our line graphed on the coordinate plane. You can see the x-axis here and the y-axis here, of course. So let's first identify the slope and the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So this y-axis, the vertical axis right here, this, of course, is what we're looking at. And so where does the line cross? It crosses, it looks like right there, right where I put that red dot at. And that dot, as you can tell, is at -1. It's between 0 and -2. And so, of course, that would be -1. So that is B. I'm going to put -1. That's where the line crosses the y-axis. Now, to get the slope is the vertical change to the horizontal change, or rise over run. And so I need to look at where does this line cross the grid lines at. So it obviously crosses right here at -1. It looks like it also crosses the grid lines right here. What I mean by the grid lines is you see those like baby blue grid lines sort of in the background. That line crosses those grid lines clearly right there. And so I need to figure out how far do I have to go up and to the right to get to this point. Well, I would go up. Let me change my colors here. From this point right here, from my B, from my y-intercept, I would go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So I rose 4. I'm going to put that number on top of my slope. I rose 4. My rise is 4. My vertical change is 4. After I rise 4, then I go to the right 1 to get to that dot right there. And so that's my run. I rise 4. That's my number on top of the slope. I run 1. That's the number on the bottom of my slope. And so as you can tell, my slope is 4 over 1, or 4 divided by 1, which is simply 4. So my slope is 4. Okay. Now I can use this information. If I know M and I know B, I have all I need to know to write an equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So the equation of the line, of course, if we use slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, all I have to do is plug m and b into the equation, and I have the equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, so the equation of the line is going to be y equals, then I have m. What's m? Well, m, we just found, is this number right here, 4. So I'm going to put that in for m. M, my slope, is 4. Okay, now x will stay as an x. I need to write x in slope-intercept form. So I have 4x. Okay, then I have plus b. What is b? Where did the line cross the y-axis? It crossed the axis, the y-axis, at -1. So I could put plus -1, but I don't need to put a plus a negative. I just need to put -1 or -1. And this right here is the equation of this line in slope-intercept form. Y equals 4x minus 1. Notice how my x term is listed first, and then my constant term. Of course, a constant term is a term that has no variable, has no x on it. Okay, so y equals 4x minus 1. That is the equation of the line. So let's answer this question. What kind of slope does this line have? Well, as I read this line from left to right, it's going uphill, right? If there was a guy on the end of this line right here, and he were to walk this line, he would be walking uphill. Okay, so that means this slope is positive slope. And so in Kami, I can come in here and click text box, put my text box right there, and type positive. Okay, this has positive slope. So I can tell it by looking at the graph of the line, whether it's positive or negative. I can also tell what kind of slope this line has by simply looking at m. What is m? M is 4, right? M, our slope, is the number in front of the x, or in front of the x. And so if m is a positive number, I would expect my line to have positive slope, to be going uphill, and it is, right? And so what kind of slope does it have? It has positive slope. Number 2, same 3 parts here. Identify the slope and the y-intercept, write the equation of the line, then tell what kind of slope the line has. So first, let's identify B, the y-intercept. Where does this line cross the y-axis? Well, here's the y-axis, the up and down axis. It crosses right here. And so what point is that? You could say there's no number there, and you'd be right, but you'd also kind of be wrong, because what's in between 0 and 2? If this is 0 and that's 2, halfway between 0 and 2 must be 1, right? So B is 1. That's where it crosses the y-axis. B is 1. Of course, that's positive 1. Now, what's M? M is rise over run. So I need to pick another point besides this point right here, besides B. I need to pick another point where the line clearly crosses the grid lines. And so right here, it's only crossing one grid line, right? It's not crossing both grid lines like it is right here, right? At that point right there, it's crossing both of the grid lines. Those are kind of baby blue grid lines in the back, like kind of in the background, okay? So I need to figure out what is the ratio of my vertical change to my horizontal change. To get from this dot to this dot, I have to go up 1. I have to rise 1. And so I'm going to put that number on top of my fraction. I rise 1. And after I rise 1, I need to go right how far? I have to go right 1, 2. And so I have to run 2, or go to the right 2. So if I go up 1, right 2, there's a dot on the line. Okay, I'll do that again, up 1, right 2, and there'd be another dot. Okay, I can also change the direction of where I go. So instead of going up 1, right 2, I can go not up but down, and not right but left, and I would still be on the line. Down 1, left 2, I'm still on the line. So as you can see, going up and to the right is the same thing as going down and to the left, because those dots will still be on the line. Now that I have M and I have B, I have all that I need to write the equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, so I'm just going to write down in general what slope-intercept form is. Y equals mx plus b. That is slope-intercept form generally. Now I'm going to plug in what m and b are. So the equation of the line is going to be y equals, now what's m? M I found is this, 1/2. So I'm going to put that in for m. M is 1/2. I leave my x, so y equals 1/2 x plus b. What's b? B is 1. So I'm going to put a positive 1, right? A plus 1, because b is a positive 1. So plus 1. This right here is the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Y equals 1/2 x plus 1. Now I need to identify what kind of slope this has. Well, again, as I look at this graph, if there's a guy over here on the left and he walks this line, he walks uphill. Okay, I always need to read the graph from left to right, like you read a book. You read from left to right. And so as I read this graph, this line from left to right, he's walking uphill. And if he walks uphill, that is positive slope. Okay, so I put text box, positive. What kind of slope is this? This is positive slope. I can tell that by looking at the line graphed. I can also tell that by what m is. M is 1/2. 1/2 is a positive number, and so this has positive slope. Number 3, identify the slope and the y-intercept of the line. Write the equation of the line. Tell what kind of slope it has. Just by looking at this graph, you can already tell it has what kind of slope. If there's a guy right here and he walks the line, is he going to be walking uphill or downhill? Uphill, right? As read from left to right, this line is going uphill. If it goes uphill, that is positive slope. So you can go ahead and add your text box. Okay, and I'm going to type in positive. It has positive slope. So because it has positive slope, I would expect my m to be a positive number, right? Because it has positive slope. So where does this line cross the y-axis? What is the y-intercept? Well, here's my y-axis, the up and down axis. It crosses right here. And where's that? Halfway between 0 and 2. That is 1, right? So again, my b, my y-intercept is 1. Now to get slope, I need to pick another point on the line that crosses both of the grid lines. So how about right here? Right here, okay? To get to that point, I have to go up how far? I have to go up 1, 2. I go up 2, I rise 2, so that number will be on top of my slope. And on bottom, I run how far? I run to the right 1, right? So I run 1. So up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. Instead of going up and to the right, I can go down and to the left, and I should still be on the line. So from my B, down 2, 1, 2, and left 1 on the line. Down 2, left 1 on the line, right? So up and to the right is the same thing as down and to the left. Okay, so I have my two pieces of information that I need. I got M and I got B. So in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, I need to plug in M and plug in B. Okay, so equation of the line is going to be y equals, what's M? M is this, 2 over 1. 2 over 1 is the same thing as 2, right? 2 divided by 1, that's 2. I leave my x. Then I have b. What's b? We found b to be 1, so I'm going to put a plus 1. Okay? We said the slope was positive, which makes sense because our m is a positive 2. Okay? So we got m, we got b, we got the equation of the line, and we got what kind of slope it is, positive slope.